For years, the global semiconductor story was simple. America designed the chips. Taiwan manufactured them. China assembled the products. But that story is breaking apart. Chinese chip exports are surging nearly 85%. Wall Street is turning bullish on Chinese AI semiconductors. And Huawei's Ascend chips are now being validated alongside NVIDIA in major AI models. The world may be starting to reprice Chinese chips. For years, China's semiconductor industry was defined by one phrase: being choked off. Export controls, sanctions, EUV restrictions, advanced GPU bans. The global consensus was simple. China could manufacture low-end chips, but it would struggle to compete in advanced semiconductors. But in 2026, something changed. Not quietly, not gradually. Suddenly, Chinese chip exports are exploding. According to China customs data, integrated circuit exports surged more than 84% year-over-year in March. And this isn't just about shipping more units. Average export prices jumped over 50%. That's important, because it suggests Chinese chip companies are no longer competing purely on low-cost manufacturing. They're moving up the value chain, and Wall Street is paying attention. Morgan Stanley recently released a major report on China's AI accelerator market. The bank projects China's domestic AI chip self-sufficiency could reach 86% by 2030. Goldman Sachs also shifted tone, arguing China's AI semiconductor ecosystem is reaching a stage where it can independently support major domestic internet companies. That's a massive change in narrative. But the most symbolic moment may have come from DeepSeek. When DeepSeek released its V4 model, the technical paper confirmed something that immediately caught industry attention. The model was validated on both NVIDIA GPUs and Huawei Ascend NPUs. Side by side, that single line represented something bigger than technical compatibility. It suggested Chinese AI chips are becoming credible infrastructure for large-scale AI models. And according to Reuters, DeepSeek even gave Huawei early optimization access before NVIDIA, breaking standard industry practice. For NVIDIA, this matters, because Jensen Huang has repeatedly warned that the biggest long-term risk isn't just regulation. It's Chinese companies finding an alternative path. And that alternative path may already be forming. Now, to be clear, China is still behind in advanced manufacturing. The country still lacks access to EUV lithography. 7 nanometers and below remain extremely difficult and expensive. TSMC still dominates the cutting edge. But here's the key point many investors miss. The AI boom doesn't only require cutting-edge GPUs. AI infrastructure also depends on enormous volumes of mature node chips, power management chips, memory, signal transmission chips, interface controllers, automotive semiconductors. And in many of these categories, China is becoming globally competitive. Take memory chips. As AI demand exploded, Samsung and SK Hynix shifted capacity toward high-end HBM memory for AI servers. That created shortages in consumer DRAM and NAND markets. Chinese memory companies like CXMT and YMTC stepped directly into that gap. Reports suggest CXMT's DDR5 yields have exceeded 85%. YMTC's NAND market share has already reached around 13% globally. That timing was critical. China's technology matured exactly when the global market needed additional supply. Then there's automotive chips. Toyota and Suzuki recently announced plans to use Horizon Robotics ADAS chips in vehicles sold globally. That's significant because automotive supply chains are notoriously difficult to penetrate. Once a chip supplier enters, it often stays for years. So what we're witnessing may not be a temporary rally. It may be the beginning of a structural reassessment. But there are still serious risks. Semiconductor stocks globally are already showing signs of overheating. The Philadelphia Semiconductor Index has seen one of its strongest rallies since the dot-com era. China also faces growing risks from overcapacity, price wars, and tighter export controls from the United States and its allies. and advanced manufacturing remains a major bottleneck. So this isn't a story about China suddenly overtaking Nvidia or replacing TSMC overnight. It's more nuanced than that. The real story is this. China is no longer just participating in the global semiconductor industry. It's becoming too important to ignore. And the world is starting to price that reality in.